A dying American CEO hands his glowing card to a Nigerian cleaner, unaware that she holds the cure his billion-dollar doctors couldn't find. What starts as a simple act of kindness unlocks a hidden past, a forbidden love, and a mystery that crosses continents. Sit tight. This story will melt your heart, shake your soul, and keep you hooked till the very last line. Sarah stood at the edge of Logan Airport, clutching a worn-out brown bag. Her heart pounded in her chest as cold wind brushed against her skin. It was her first time in Boston. Everything looked strange. Too clean, too fast, too different. She had come from Nigeria with one small suitcase and a secret letter hidden inside her shoe. She had no friends in Boston, no family, and no job waiting. Just the letter her late mother left behind, written in shaky handwriting. If you ever feel lost, go to the city of knowledge. That's where you will find the answers, and maybe your destiny. Sarah never understood what her mother meant. But after her mother died suddenly, and after everything at home fell apart, the letter was the only thing that gave her hope. She lived in a small shelter in Boston for the first few weeks. The environment was hard. The food was strange. People stared at her, whispered things she couldn't hear. But Sarah didn't cry. She just prayed, cleaned the shelter when no one asked, and smiled even when she was hungry. One morning, a kind lady named Helen noticed her sweeping outside. "Do you need work?" Helen asked. Sarah nodded quickly. That's how she became a cleaner at Maxwell Tech, a powerful company owned by a mysterious man named Mr. Harrison. She didn't know anything about him, but her job was simple. Clean every morning before sunrise, don't talk too much, and never go upstairs. She followed all the rules until one strange morning. The private elevator opened, and Mr. Harrison, the CEO everyone feared, stepped out, pale and shaking. "Come here now," he whispered, pointing at her. Sarah froze. She had never spoken to him before. "I don't have time," he said, barely breathing. "Take this." He pulled out a black card from his coat pocket. It shimmered, almost glowing. Strange symbols danced across its surface. None of them made sense. Sarah held the card. Her fingers tingled. You are the only one who can stop this," Mr. Harrison gasped, then collapsed at her feet. Sarah dropped to her knees. "Sir, sir," she shouted, shaking him gently. But Mr. Harrison didn't answer. His eyes were closed. His skin was cold. She looked around, afraid someone would blame her. What if they thought she hurt him? But no one was there. The hallway was silent. If you're enjoying this story so far, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the story. She remembered something her mother once told her. When something strange happens, don't panic. Follow your heart. Sometimes fear is just the beginning of a miracle. Sarah took a deep breath and pulled out her small phone. She dialed the emergency number she had memorized. "Please," she said to the operator. "He's not breathing." In minutes, men in uniforms rushed in. They carried Mr. Harrison away on a stretcher. No one asked Sarah any questions. No one noticed the black card now hidden deep in her coat pocket. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. The card was glowing faintly in the dark, like it was alive. She turned it over and over. She didn't understand the symbols, but the feeling in her chest grew stronger. It was like the card was calling her. The next morning, things got even stranger. At work, everyone was quiet. Whispers filled the air. Someone had found out that the CEO was dying. His condition was a secret for months. But now it was out. Some said it was poison. Others said it was a curse. No one knew the truth. Sarah just cleaned the floors like always, but something inside her had changed. She felt watched, like someone or something was keeping an eye on her. In the bathroom mirror, she stared at her reflection. Her eyes looked different, sharper, brighter. "What's happening to me?" she whispered. Suddenly, a voice echoed in her mind. "Not outside, inside. The key has chosen. The cure is waking." Sarah gasped, dropping her mop. That night, she returned to her tiny room and locked the door. She pulled the card out again. It now glowed brighter than ever. When she touched the center, a sharp light burst from it. And suddenly, words in English appeared on the surface. "Blood calls to blood. The last breath must return to its beginning." Sarah blinked. Her heartbeat was fast. She didn't know what the message meant, but something deep inside her remembered, like a dream from childhood, like a song from a forgotten place. Then came the knock. 3 soft knocks. Sarah froze. No one ever visited her. Ever. She tiptoed to the door. "Who is it?" she asked. Silence. She waited. Nothing. Then a white envelope slid under the door. She picked it up slowly. On the front, it said, "Sarah Thompson." Inside was a letter with only one sentence. "Come to the rooftop. Bring the card. Midnight." Her hands shook. She looked at the clock. It was 11:48 p.m. Midnight in Boston was cold and full of secrets. Sarah climbed the old metal stairs to the rooftop, her steps quiet but her heart loud. The wind bit at her skin, and the black card pulsed in her hand like a tiny heartbeat. The rooftop was empty. She stepped carefully, her eyes scanning the shadows. Then she saw him. A boy, maybe her age, stood in the corner wearing a long coat. His hair was dark and fell across his eyes. He didn't move when she arrived. He just stared at her like he had been waiting forever. "You brought it," he said. Sarah clutched the card. "Who are you?" "My name is Tyler," he replied softly. "I'm like you. Different." Sarah frowned. "I'm not different." Tyler stepped forward. "Oh, but you are. That card, it only glows for people who are connected to the cure. For people whose blood remembers." Sarah's head hurt. "I don't understand." "You will," he said. "But there's no time. Harrison is dying because of something ancient, something forgotten. But you're the only one who can survive what's coming. You're not just the cure, Sarah. You're the last part of the puzzle." Sarah took a step back. "Why me?" Tyler's eyes glowed for a moment. "Because you were never meant to be ordinary." Sarah stared at Tyler like he was speaking a different language. The wind blew stronger. Her fingers tightened around the card. "You're lying," she whispered. Tyler shook his head slowly. "If I was lying, the card wouldn't glow for you." She looked down at the card. It was glowing again, but this time it was warm too, like it knew her, like it was alive. "I'm just a cleaner," she said. "I mop floors. I sleep in a tiny room. I don't have magic in my blood. I'm nobody." "No," Tyler said firmly. "You're the only one who survived what killed others. Don't you find that strange? You touched Harrison when no one else was allowed to. And after that, the card chose you. That's not an accident." Sarah stepped back. "You said others died. What others?" Tyler looked away. "Before you, 3 others were chosen. All of them touched the card. All of them vanished." Sarah's heart skipped. "Vanished? As in dead?" He nodded. Sarah swallowed hard. She wanted to run, but something inside her told her to stay. She remembered her mother's letter again. That's where you'll find your destiny. Tyler took something from his coat. It was a photo, old, faded. He handed it to her. Sarah gasped. It was her mother, smiling, standing beside a younger Harrison. What is this? They knew each other, Tyler said, before she left Boston, before everything began. Sarah's head spun. She couldn't breathe. My mother was here? She was more than here. She was part of the team that discovered the sickness in Harrison's body. The same sickness killing him now. But she disappeared before she could finish her research. Sarah looked up. Why? No one knows, Tyler whispered. But I think she ran, and she took the cure with her. Sarah's legs felt weak. You think I am the cure? He nodded slowly. Or part of it. You were born in Nigeria, but your beginnings started here. The next day, Sarah didn't go to work. She stayed in her room, staring at the card, then at her mother's photo. She wanted answers, but her heart was full of fear. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She picked it up slowly. A deep voice said, "We know you have it. If you're enjoying this story so far, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow." Thank you, and back to the story. Sarah's blood turned cold. Who are you? Return the card, or you'll disappear like the others. The line went dead. Sarah stared at the phone. Who were they? How did they know? Suddenly, the room lights flickered. Then the card began to float. Sarah jumped back. Symbols started to shine in the air, glowing gold, forming a circle. In the center, one word appeared in English, truth. Then the card dropped. Sarah picked it up. Something had changed. The back of the card now had a tiny map. A single red dot blinked. Berkshire, she whispered. The map was showing a location far in the Massachusetts mountains. She grabbed her bag. Whatever this mystery was, she had to follow it. She had to find the truth. Sarah stepped off the bus 6 hours later. The cold mountain wind was strong, and snowflakes danced around her like white fireflies. She had never seen snow before. She followed the blinking dot on the card. It led her through a narrow trail, past frozen trees and strange stone statues. She felt like someone or something was watching her. She arrived at a small wooden cabin. She knocked. No answer. She pushed the door. Creaked open. Inside, the room was filled with old books, jars of herbs and maps. Everything smelled like smoke and secrets. Then she saw him, an old man sitting by the fire. His eyes were closed, but he spoke. "You are late, Sarah." Her mouth opened. "How do you know my name?" "I knew your mother." "Who are you?" "My name is David, and I have been waiting 23 years for you." Sarah's eyes widened. "You waited for me?" David opened his eyes slowly. They were gray and full of storms. "I promised your mother. If she couldn't return, I would wait for her daughter." Sarah sat down slowly, her fingers still clutching the card. "What did she do?" she asked. David stared into the fire. She was part of a research team that discovered something ancient buried in Harrison's bloodline. A sickness not from this world. Some called it a curse. Others called it science. But only your mother came close to stopping it. Sarah looked down. "And she left. She ran," David said softly. "Because she was pregnant with you." Sarah froze. Her breath caught. Her heart pounded. She knew someone would come for her, for you. So she escaped, gave birth in Nigeria, and erased every trace of her past. Sarah shook her head slowly. Why does the sickness want Harrison? Why him? Because, David whispered, he is the last in the cursed bloodline, and you are the only one whose blood can rewrite it. Sarah's voice cracked. So if I help him, I die? David didn't answer. She stood up quickly. I won't let that happen. I don't want to die. You won't die, another voice said from behind her. Sarah turned sharply. It was Harrison, alive, standing. He looked weaker, his face pale, but his eyes burned like fire. Sarah ran to him. You're alive? How? Harrison smiled slightly. Because of you. He stepped closer. She smelled something warm, like cedarwood and old memories. When I touched you, he whispered, I felt something wake up in me, something peaceful, like my death stopped running. Sarah's cheeks burned. She looked down, shy. Harrison gently touched her hand. I don't understand what's happening, Sarah, but I know this. My body is dying. My soul is not. And you think I'm your cure? She asked. No, he said. I think you're my beginning. Their eyes locked. The fire crackled. The snow outside fell slower, softer. A feeling Sarah had never known filled her chest. Something like hope, something like love. They returned to Boston the next morning. Sarah sat beside Harrison in his black car, holding the card. His hand rested lightly on hers, and she didn't pull away. Tyler met them at the company's rooftop. His face was tight with worry. You shouldn't have gone, he said. The others know. Sarah frowned. Who are the others? Harrison answered, the people who want me to die so the sickness stays buried. They think the curse must end with me. Tyler nodded. They're watching. They're planning. Sarah stepped forward. Let them watch. I'm not afraid. Harrison looked at her. Neither am I. Not with you here. He turned to Tyler. Start the tests. We'll find out what Sarah's blood carries. Sarah was taken to the secret lab beneath Maxwell Techneedle's scanners, strange machines. Everything looked like science fiction. Will it hurt? She asked. Harrison took her hand. Not more than what I've already felt without you. She smiled softly. He leaned closer, and for the first time, their lips met. It was gentle, slow, like a promise, like home. Years passed. The sickness that once tried to take Harrison never returned. Sarah's blood had changed everything. The card, once glowing and strange, had faded after the final test. It no longer pulsed with mystery. It had done its work. Sarah was never just a cleaner. She was always meant to be part of something greater. And now she had created something even greater with him. Harrison and Sarah got married under the golden leaves of autumn. The sun smiled down on them, and even the sky seemed to understand. Their love wasn't loud. It was steady, quiet, deep. It grew stronger with every year. They built a life full of purpose and peace. No more secrets, no more running. They had 2 children, Andrew and Lily. Andrew had his father's quiet wisdom and his mother's fire. He loved books and music, and he dreamed of building hospitals for children. Lily had Sarah's fierce spirit and Harrison's sharp eyes. She could make people laugh, cry, and believe all with one sentence. Together, their children brought light into the world. One night, when the air was soft and full of spring, Sarah and Harrison sat in their garden. Their hair had silver strands now, and their hands had wrinkles, but their love had never faded. Sarah leaned on his shoulder. "Do you remember the first time we kissed?" she asked. Harrison chuckled. "You mean in the lab when I was half dead?" Sarah laughed. "Yes, even then you were mine." Harrison kissed her hand. "And you were always my cure, not just for my sickness, but for my life." They sat in silence, listening to the wind. Inside the house, Andrew played the piano while Lily read poetry. Sarah looked at the stars. She remembered the lonely nights, the card, the danger, her mother's letter, the rooftop, the fire, and she smiled. "I was just a cleaner once," she whispered. "No," Harrison said. "You were always the miracle." Their hands stayed linked. Their hearts stayed whole. And together they grew old, wrapped in love, family, and the quiet magic of choosing each other every single day. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you and see you in the next one.